We're looking at those buy, sells, holds, and trades from Week 12 fantasy football. We're looking at those players who went nuclear, those players who busted, those guys we're buying into for the rest of the season, those league winners, etc., etc. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going deeper than anybody else on YouTube in the fantasy football streets, including all the websites, when it comes to covering the waiver wire. We're finding the hidden gems. We're doing it faster, quicker, and more accurate. On top of that, we're deep diving all the trending prospects so you get the advanced analytics on their situation, and then we're going to help you set your lineups every single week. So click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. First game we're looking at today, Steelers, Bears, and this was one of the games I was looking at this week. I knew there was going to be good movement. There was some decent movement in this matchup. Kenneth Gainwell popped. Jalen Warren got the touchdown. The running backs for the Steelers were very enticing because the Bears were banged up on defense. That was something we were looking at going into this. Dike Metcalf rushed for a touchdown. He came out for a little bit of this game. Still caught 5 balls for 22 yards. Monitor him throughout the week. Calvin Austin, 5 targets, 4 for 36. Fine on there. Gainwell getting it in the passing game. Darnell Washington sent this guy to the shadow realm on a block. You need to check that highlight out. He is nasty. This team is still spreading it to all the tight ends, and you're looking at the wide receivers here for the Bears. You kind of just got to, put them in a bowl and just pull their names out of a hat or something, because DJ Moore hit, and he's usually very volatile this year. 2 touchdowns, 5 balls caught, 64 yards. Rome Odunze whiffed again. When are we going to stop starting him? And it's hard not to. He got 9 targets. You keep looking at that. He does something to keep you interested in him. But Luther Burden, Colston, Loveland, the rookies here, starting to catch some fire. 5 targets each. Burden could be a league winner down the stretch. If not, he's going to be a fun stash on your bench right now. Same thing with Colston Loveland. He's an upside tight end. You don't see that too much in the league. DeAndre Swift, not getting you anything. Kyle Money Guy, our boy, getting the touchdown, though. Caleb Williams, 3 touchdowns. That was the quarterback. That's the iffy quarterback that we were into this week. Patriots, Bengals, we got good movement here. 46 total points. It hit the under. Flacco, 183 and a touchdown. May, 294 and a touchdown. Safe every single week. Hendo, 66 rushing yards. Drake May, 22. Steve-O, not much for Steve-O. Hunter Henry blows up. All tight ends blow up against the Bengals. So you look for the Bengals, who they're playing. Look who's the tight end. If they're on waivers and you need a tight end, shoot that shot. See what happens, guys. And that's about it. 6 targets for our boy Mac Hollins. Diggs busted in a game script that we needed him to hit. Same thing with Kayshon Boutte. Our boy Yoshi, though, gets us to the fairway. 4 for 61. T. Higgins comes out in this matchup. Yoshi stays alive for another week. We got to chase that Yoshi for another week. Ja'Marr Chase lost this game for him by spitting on somebody. He lost. If he was in this game, they might have won it. 2 for 23 for Chase Brown. Chase Brown, over 100. We had a resurgence. 26-20, Pats win. This was a fun game. This one had some good movement for fantasy. Lions 34-27. Detroit was up. It was looking good. Jameis Winston is back, slinging rockets all over the field. That is what you want for fantasy. If you don't have one of the top supreme quarterbacks, you want a quarterback like this that puts his nuts on the table. 62 yards for Tracy on the ground. 47 for Devin Singletary. Wan'Dale Robinson goes off. I was off and on with Wan'Dale Robinson this week. I liked the matchup. There was just so many other good matchups that I liked. Theo Johnson got there with catches and yards, guys. Catches and yards. James Winston doesn't care. Tyron Tracy, 3 for 68 through the air. Hodgkins, 6 targets and a touchdown. He's getting volume. That's 12, 13 targets in the last 2 games. Solid. Slayton whiffed. Slayton has that JMO effect. And them and J-Mo, they were doing Spider-Man memes to each other, just pointing at each other. If J-Mo hit, he would have hit. That's how the universe would have worked with those two guys on the field. Amon-Ra goes off. He was just catching balls left and right. The story was Jahmyr Gibbs. 45 yards through the air and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns on the ground, 219 yards. Just going off. Just going off. Just being nasty out there. 279, 2 touchdowns and a pick for Jared Goff. Quarterbacks got it in this matchup. A lot to go around. We did have some busts. David Montgomery didn't get the touchdown. We were praying for that. A matchup like this, a backup like that, you can throw in. It's just sometimes it's going to run bad. But we went to OT. We had some free football with it. We had some hitters. We had some busts. Fun matchup. Packers, Vikes. This one lived up to the predicted game script from Vegas and what everybody was saying. J.J. McCarthy, 87 yards, 2 picks. Like, we're hitting Bust City soon. Like, NFL-wise. Fantasy-wise, we're pretty much there. Pretty much there. Like, we're killing Justin Jefferson. He's so bad. That's hard to do. That's hard to do, to kill these pass catchers. From what he's got on this team, that is hard to do. And I said this in the offseason, and it was during training camp, minicamp, and OTAs. Like, you'll get a feel like you have enough around you where you're going to get an idea of whether he's the truth or not. You're starting to see that he's not the truth. Now, if he turns it around, that's a different thing. But if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And this looks like a bust. If we stay on this trajectory, we might be there. What do you guys think? 7 targets for Christian Watson, 49 yards, 5 balls caught. Okay. Better than everybody else. No one scored a touchdown through the air. Manny Wilson, our boy, 2 touchdowns, 107 yards. Gets it done. Manny Wilson gets it done. Grinds it out with 28 carries. I told you he wouldn't get messed with. Chris Brooks comes in with 8 carries. He actually looked like he was very explosive in this matchup. Better than what he has posted for his advanced metrics or from the Combine and Pro Days. But you're looking at Jordan Love, 139 yards through the air. Didn't have to push it. There wasn't much through the air. 87 yards from McCaffrey. Ain't looking good on the Vikes. Seahawks, Titans, 30-24. We got more of a game than what we were thinking of here, especially with Cam Ward. Like I've been saying with Cam Ward, he's a sneaky play if you're that much in poverty at quarterback. 256 yards, a touchdown, 37 yards on the ground, another touchdown. If you're in poverty, that's what you're wanting. And remember, Aomanor was out, Ridley was out, Dike was his number 1 receiver, Gunnar Helm. Like, you're looking at who he's throwing to, and he's making it happen. You're seeing the numbers increase a little bit. Not looking too great as an NFL quarterback, but you also take that in context of what's around him, too. But you're looking at this DK, our boy, with the touchdown. 5 balls caught, 44 yards. That's the man in his offense you want to chase. You got the speed. You're using the slot a lot. Kenneth Walker, 3 for 30 through the air. Jagsman the Jigba, the stud here. 8 balls caught, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looking at the run game, we're just splitting it between the running backs again, making us pull our hair out. Kenneth Walker hit the fairway. It's okay, but it's not good enough to win your week. You get a touchdown by Charbonnet. Outside of that, you don't want any other Seattle Seahawks. Colts, Chiefs. This one hit the under, but we got good football. We got decent movement. 352 yards from Patrick Mahomes, 181, 2 touchdowns from Danny Dimes here. Jonathan Taylor busted on us. Ashton Doolin, 1 for 48. Pittman got the touchdown. I know a lot of you guys were looking to start him. Tyler Warren got you almost to the fairway, kind of busted on you depending on what you were looking at tight end and your situation. Josh Downs whiffed. Alec Pierce was an upside play that didn't splash. I went away with him and to him with a lot of questions, really depending on the context. Upside gamble, that was what I had him called. Same thing with Xavier Worthy. Almost to the fairway. Travis Kelce, I felt like he was doing more out there. I felt like we were getting a little bit more out there. Seeing him up there on the red zone a lot more, but 4 for 43. Brashard Smith, you were hearing his name a lot. 3 for 31 in the passing game. Hollywood Brown, 1 ball caught, 10 yards. It's getting spread around here. Rashee Rice is your man, though. That's who you want. Travis Kelce's getting volume with 6 targets. Worthy's showing up with 8 targets, but not doing too much with it. Kareem Hunt gets the score. Kareem Hunt was a start for me this week. I liked him. I liked this matchup. I knew he was going to get the goal line work, and I knew he was going to get enough touches, but I did not predict 30. I definitely didn't say that. I definitely didn't say he was going to get 100. I said he was going to be like that 50, 60 range, a touchdown or two. Scoring-wise, I was probably roughly about the same, but not to this light. Patrick Mahomes looks like playoff Patrick Mahomes. Jets, Ravens, and if you remember, this was a game I wasn't touching. This was a game I didn't want. And Derrick Henry hits 2 touchdowns, 64 yards. Lamar Jackson, 153. Zay Flowers, he was getting a lot of work. You saw him come up on red zone a lot. 5 for 58, 10.8 PPR fantasy points. So if you shot for upside and you whiffed, and he only scored you 5, you're still only 5 off from him. So you might as well shot for the upside. Like, that's what I was looking at. If you're trying to win it, I went away from Zay Flowers. If you're just trying to, like, hold steady because you knew you had your matchup, you just need to get to the fairway, Zay Flowers was a good start for you. Outside of that, Breece Hall, 4 for 75. You just give this boy space. Give the man some space, man. He got 4 targets, 4 balls caught, 75 yards. John Metchie gets a score. Back-to-back touchdowns. This week and last week, 65 yards. 80 Mitchell, 7 targets, 2 balls caught. He's getting the volume. It ain't sticking. Maybe it'll stick somewhere down the line. Mason Taylor, good for 5 targets. You never know what's going to happen with him, though. 44 yards on the ground. Breece Hall got it done for you. 23-10 Ravens. Everybody's waiting for me to get to this game. I know it. I got a lot of Browns fans. I got a lot of Shedeur fans. I got a lot of Shedeur haters. And I did a special video this morning just for this game, along with the must-start video breaking down this game. I nailed this one dead nuts almost to a T. Almost dead nuts to Shedeur's yardage total, to the pick, to everything. I told you that he was going to give the haters a little bit of something to chew on. And I said the fans of Shedeur, they're going to come out looking good. And I said there was a high probability they were going to win this game. And I also said that everyone's worried about Shedeur. They should also be worried about Geno. Geno almost died in this game with 10 sacks. Ugly game for fantasy. 2 touchdowns for Quinshawn. A lot of wildcat looks. Dylan Sampson looking explosive on the touchdown. You saw Shedeur just slinging it deep. Solid downfield. Shedeur slinging that deep ball. That's what you wanted to see out of him. Pushing it downfield. That allowed the run game to tap in a little bit. That allowed that to happen. Genty getting crushed. Got a touchdown, though, through the air. He came out late in this game. We're watching the status, but it might have been just because it was late. We might have had more game. He might have came back in, but it was really late. He came out, and next thing you know, it was Mostert's. But all in all, it was ugly here for the Raiders. Tyler Lockett, 4 for 62. Brock Bowers, 6 for 55. That's probably enough to get you to tight end 1 status this week. I'm not reading off many big-time tight ends. But again, like we said, this was going to be a nasty, ugly game. Shedeur pulled it out. Jaguars, Cardinals, 27-24. Brissett comes out, throws for 317 and a touchdown. I got a lot of people starting him. I got a lot of people to start him. A lot of people had start-sit questions with Brissett, and I went with him on almost all of them because this was a safe matchup. I knew he was going to throw it 30 to 40 times. We got 49 times. We also got 20 yards on the ground, a little extra money with that. Trevor comes in, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Cardinals almost pull it off. They almost pull it off. Travis Etienne, I had some people starting him, 86 yards. I saw him get the score there as well earlier in the game. Parker Washington gets a score. Brenton Strange hits. He's a waiver wire target for you guys. I don't have him in the waiver wire video, but that video comes out early while the late games are being played because I'm ahead of the market, guys. Brenton Strange is going to get targets. He's going to get a lot of opportunity in this offense. It's all going to be game script dependent. Jacoby Myers is starting to fire up. Be on the lookout for him in your lineups. He's starting to fire up in this offense. You're seeing a little Tim Patrick get sprinkled in there. I think he had a score last week. Something to pay attention to. Michael Carter busted. They had to throw the rock. They were behind. They had to throw the rock. Michael Wilson, 18 targets last week, 15 this week. Trey McBride, 10 targets. I told you Trey McBride was going to get a lot of work. 9 targets quietly for Greg Dortch and a touchdown. Greg Dortch quietly getting 9 targets. That's a pickup if there was ever one. Greg Torch needs added to waiver wire content this week. I will add him up. Looking at him. Cowboys, Eagles, probably the biggest game on the late slate without Shedeur Sanders in it, because this one was very drama heavy on the back end. Dak gets it done. 354, 2 touchdowns. George Pickens is the alpha. CeeDee Lamb has to be the beta, right? Right? 9 for 146 and a touchdown on 9 targets. Playmaking machine. Lamb, 4 for 75. Still good. 11 targets. Javonte Williams, 87 yards in this game. And you also got 2 balls for 14, so there's 3. So you got the fairway. So you got you safe production. Just didn't win it for you. Jake Ferguson, Fergie, he had 11, so he's like a tight end 1 for the week. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. I liked him going into this contest. I did say one would go off, and I did not know which one. And someone asked my thoughts on A.J. Brown. I said, if you're going to start him, if you're ever going to use him, this would be the game. This would be the game if you're ever thinking of that. Saquon Barkley, I had as a massive start, as a massive production for him in this game. 7 balls caught, 52 yards. I guess not massive for his context, maybe for anybody else. You're looking at that. Dallas Goedert whiffed. Jalen Hurts, 289 and a touchdown. 33 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Massive production. Saints, Falcons. Tyler Shuck, 243 and a pick. 7 carries, 22 yards. Like I said, he's one of those quarterbacks that might get you there in an ugly way for fantasy. He may not be there next year as the starter, but he'll get you there in ugliness. Devin Neal, watch him. Alvin Kamara went out. Watching the reports on him, watch Devin Neal. He might be the big pickup of the week. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries, 70 yards. 2 balls caught, 37 yards. Not up to Bijan levels. We did not get the touchdown for Tyler Algier. We did get hit by Darnell Mooney. 374, touchdown, 16-17-ish fantasy points. We'll take that for sure. Off the waiver wire. I tried to get a you need video out on him. I just couldn't get to it. I apologize, but it was kind of like, hey, we're throwing him out there type of deal. Kirk Cousins, 199, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So Kirk Cousins of him, but it's fine. They got the dub. They were up. Tyler Shuck. I don't think he's going to be the Saints quarterback for next year. Those are the buy, sell, holds, and trades from Week 12 fantasy football. Who you buying, who you selling, who you holding, stashing, whatever. I want to hear about that in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.